I think a big thing for me, like, that I see is people talking about the financial pressures that life brings. I think one thing we don't think about money is, for a lot of us, money makes us be seen. I'll give you this example. I do TV shows on Channel 4. When we want to get participants, it can be very difficult to get participants on these shows. There's another show on Channel 4 called Naked Attraction, and that is going for season upon season upon season. They do not struggle to get people to go on Naked Attraction. People are much more comfortable being naked on television than they are sharing their bank details or their finances, because money is a thing that makes you feel seen, right? Let's put it like this way. A lot of the time people don't want to say how much they earn, because once you know how much someone earns, if you now see them with a nice watch, or if you see them with a nice car, or if you see them in first class on holiday, they're going to feel like, people are going to say, well, we know you can't afford this. How are you living this lifestyle? There becomes a pressure to live a lifestyle beyond what you earn. That's consumerism. That's how it works. You consume, and when you can't afford, that's why you get credit. That's why you've got overdraft, credit card, loans, to live beyond your means, to live beyond what you can afford. As long as you have a nice, easy monthly payment, it's okay. That's where we've seen the rise of what? Buy now, pay later. It's a big thing right now. Everybody's doing it. You can buy now, pay later your pant and socks. It's mad. Man are buying CK boxes and spreading the payments over 3 months. Do you have no shame? It's about us really thinking about, what are we doing? Like, where are we really going with all of this? I now see man them feeling the pressure, especially like black man, because black women are out earning them. And so man them take their identity from the amount of money that they own. You've been feeling like a man because you can buy this and buy that. But now she's earning more than you. Now you don't know what your place is, where you belong. People have to understand that you need to be able to bring more to the table than just money and finance. So many different struggles in life when it comes to money, when it comes to finance, when it comes to being seen. The big one, look at young people now getting on the property ladder. I get young people 21, 22, straight out of uni. What do you want to do? I want to buy a house. Are you well? What do you want to buy a house? If I'm 21, 22, my focus is building income streams, especially if you're in the south, like you're in London or in and around the southeast. Buying a house is such a big deposit, so much money. Unless you've got a family around you, you should be thinking about them income streams. Like I always tell people, if the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, the earlier you start building these streams of income, the more likely you are to be closer to being a millionaire. Even if you don't want to be a millionaire, you should think about the fact that I probably need at least 3 income streams to live a decent life. At 21, 22, rather than thinking about buying a property and then now you've bought this property, so you've got this liability, but you've got this monthly payment that you have to pay. So now what happens? You have to keep your job. You have to stay in that job. When your boss is on your nuts, when your boss is talking to you recklessly, when they're sniffing your food, when you're the first one in and last one out, when they make you train somebody and then promote the person that you trained. How many times do we hear these stories? You can't do anything. Why? Because you got a mortgage. You got a mortgage payment that you got to pay. You are now trapped. You might not even like the job that you're doing at 21, 22, but now you're forced to stay into it and growing it and building it because you can't miss a payment. You can't have a month where you don't earn a certain amount. Otherwise, you may lose your house. At 21, 22, you should be coming out of uni thinking, what do I like to do? Let me experiment. Let me experience. Let me travel. That travel thing, I think we miss it so much. The value in traveling and seeing the world and seeing other cultures, there's a financial benefit to it. And sometimes even the benefit just might be, okay, I'm privileged. So you might go to Africa, to Asia, to India and say, okay, cool. Is this how these communities are living? All right, I'm privileged to be where I'm at. I'm going to make sure I take advantage of the opportunities I have. You might go and teach English or teach maths or whatever in other parts of the world and say, okay, if this is how they're living, I'm privileged. I can now take this knowledge and go back and take advantage of the opportunities. Because a lot of the time you don't realize you're privileged because everybody around you has the same privilege. So it becomes standard. You don't see the benefit of it until you go out and see that other people, the things that you think are standard, other people pray for on a daily basis and don't have access to. It's really important that we understand the pressures that we're putting ourselves when it comes to finance and money. It's actually making us act a fool, making us make decisions that don't make no sense. People have got Brazilian, Peruvian, all of these countries on your head. You ain't never left the UK. Think about your life. Only thing that has traveled is your wig. That's wild. When you think about that, like, think about it, it doesn't make no sense. What's going on? Like, I'd rather you had your normal hair from the roots and you're able to now go on holiday. You're now able to take swimming lessons. Like, you're now able to do these life skills. Man are dying for postcodes. You ain't been nowhere. Never paid a council tax, but you're ready to risk your life for these roads. It's a mindset change that for a lot of us, I feel like there is a financial pressure for us to feel like if you've got a certain amount of money, you're doing well. It's a lie. Don't make them lie to you. The way money works, you can be up or down at any given time. You can be doing well, but have a cash flow problem. In business, there are times where your outgoings might come in and you're waiting for invoices to come in. And because you're waiting for these invoices to be paid, at a particular period of time, you might have £1 million waiting to come in, but it hasn't reached it. But you've had 300,000 of outgoings go out. For that period of time, until that money comes in, those invoices are paid, you might be strapped for cash. Does that make you poor? Does that mean that you're not doing well? If you know that you've done the business, you're just waiting for it to get paid. This is the perception. And that's where we might say you might have to use your overdraft. So if I'm in a position where I'm waiting for invoices to come in, have stuff go out, I need to pay my staff, I need to do stuff, and I use my overdraft, I ain't got a problem with that. That's business. Anything can happen. But when you're using your overdraft just to take girl to cinema for a walk, 5 minutes in, you're talking about, oh, it felt so good, I couldn't help myself. Because for that 5 minutes, you're now paying interest, you're paying that overdraft. Some man have been trapped in that overdraft for 2 years. You've been trapped in an overdraft for 2 years over a 5-minute walk. Look at your life. You need counselling, my guy. You need counselling. Like, it's mad, these financial decisions. Man are going on first dates to the SHARD. Are you well? The SHARD. You ain't even going to start on the first day a little cheeky Nando's, a little picnic, a little walk in the park. You man are really talking the hardest. You're starting straight in the SHARD. Novikov. What? Sexy fish. You don't even like fish. You know you as a kid, you choked on that bone. You know that fish bone. Now you don't even like fish like that. But you're out here in sexy fish, splashing money that you don't really have on the American Express, not realizing you got to pay that back. Don't allow like the pressures of feeling like you need to show that you've got something. Run your race. Know what you want out of it. What's your thoughts, man?
I'm still thinking about how certain people's ways of travelling, more than them still. It's a conundrum.
It's a conundrum.
It's
a conundrum.
What's your thoughts on that comment for me?
It's mad.
It's mad, isn't it?
But I think it is a matter of ignorance. Before I did a place me in Spain, I'd never been on a plane before.
Yeah.
Except for when I was 2, which doesn't really count because I was
Yeah.
young. And it wasn't until I lived in Spain for like 8 months that I realised how close-minded I was.
Yeah.
And just how close-minded a lot of people are in London in
Yeah.
particular, and how we think London is all there is in the world.
Yeah.
But I think what you said about travelling is so key. But I do think people use like, oh, I don't have money as an excuse.
Yeah.
Then I once spoke to my uncle and he said that it's just a matter of like priorities. Like if you want to travel, you'll save for it.
Yeah.
You'll make a way to make sure you have the money.
Exactly. One of the things that I love about Promise is that not only she travels, she said, listen, I want to learn this language. Like, I want to take the language in. Even her phone. If you look at her phone is in Spanish.
Oh, really?
I picked her phone up the other day. I was like, what is this? Remember, she's not in Spain. She's here in the UK. But because she doesn't want to forget it, doesn't want to let it come out, she's always trying to test herself. Who are you surrounded by? Like, imagine something as simple as that. I rate it highly. For you to say, right, you know what? I learned this language. I'm in the UK. I'm not using it as much. How do I challenge myself so that I can still be able to keep it?
Shows that person is disciplined as well.
Person is disciplined. How many of us, I remember when I was in school, I used to play cello and all of these different musical instruments, bruv, I can't remember nothing no more, bruv. If you don't keep it up, you'll forget. Your mind will get full up with other things. So it's about actually, who are you surrounded by? Are you surrounded by people that are trying to push themselves to be better? Are you surrounded by people who are content and comfortable and like, actually, I don't mind how it is. I don't mind the status quo. I don't mind that, you know, I might never buy a property, or, you know, you hear me, I don't care if I never make 50,000, or I'm not motivated by money, bruv. I understand that. You may not be motivated by money, but you must be motivated at wanting a better life. You can't not like your life and then say, but I'm not motivated by money, so I'm going to do nothing. Bruv, be motivated by the life that you want for yourself. Forget the money element. Think about the life you want for your children. Don't put a pressure on yourself. Like, for me, it's like, I know what I want for my kids, but my kids can't be coming to me, oh yeah, dad, I want a horse now. Like, bruv, shut your lips. Bruv, you want a horse, bruv? Google horse. Bruv, you're going to see loads of them on that. Bruv, we even going to get one VR thing. You're going to go, you understand? You can giddy up in the house. Like, don't put no pressure on me. Like, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are now overspending on your kids. Your kids go private school, they do extra classes. You're spending 5-6K a month.
So talking about that, yeah, how do you, like, as a father of multiple kids,
Yeah.
sometimes the numbers are just fluctuate.
Crazy.
Might be 6 soon. Still.
God forbid. Don't.
So how do you handle the pressures of like, daddy, I want this, daddy, I want that?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even sometimes, maybe they might even ask, but in the back of your head, you might be thinking, wow, as a dad, I should be able to do. So how do you handle this?
I think personally with my kids, I teach them about value, right? So they understand the value. So for example, my son wanted a new video game. So he's going to tell me, these are the things that I've done to add value to myself. Or maybe he's been reading, he's done well in his school, he's been doing his extra classes, he's doing well at swimming. Do you know? Like he's going to tell me the value that he's added to himself as to why he feels that he's added that value. His extracurricular, I've helped my sister with her reading or her homework. I've done this stuff in the house, boom, boom, boom. It's about value. So they're not going to just come to me and say, daddy, I want this off the bat. They're going to know what would make you think that just because you want it, you're going to have it. They understand that. But at the same time, they understand that if they're doing well, they're adding value to themselves, they're adding value to others, they're adding value to the environment, whether that be cleaning the house or, you know, tidying their room. Or now, even when it comes to the point of I can afford it and they want it, I might still say, I'm not going to give it to you now. There's going to still be, I take what you've done, I hear what you said, but there might still be a period of, I feel like we need to wait till your birthday, or we need to wait till you finish school, or we need to wait till, you know, we get your test results back, or we need to wait for a period, because this is life. Like, life is not, I deserve a promotion, so I'm going to get a promotion today. Do you see what I'm saying? You go to your manager and say, I feel like I like a promotion. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it. Even if you've done the work, even if you've got great marks at work and your reviews have been really good, I've got to instill them ready for the reality of when they get into the world. You might be the best, you might have done everything you need to do, you still might not get what you deserve. This is life. But that doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean you stop trying. It just means that life isn't always fair. But at the same time, sometimes they might come together. And so my two boys might come in and say, Dad, we want this game. Like, this is what I've done, and the other ones show what the other one's done. And when I put it together, I say, you know what, you guys have added so much value, and because you're ready to share and come together, I'm gonna get that for you. Or now I know you want that, I'm gonna add that. So when I feel ready and I feel like it's right for me, I'll get that for you. Know that I've added that to the list. If I tell my kids no, they're not gonna cry. They might feel like, oh, I love it. They're not gonna cry, because they know what man gives them. They know how much things man does for them. Do you know what I mean?
So what you said is amazing, yeah? Obviously, you also touched a lot on creating an understanding for your children and how they can understand the value in things such as money and gifts.
Yeah.
But what about some parents who may feel the pressures of, I'm buying my kid Louis Vuitton shoes, or I'm buying this. Like, you know, we see it like, some kids, they got like some designer this, designer that. I feel like certain fathers, they may feel like, I have to do such and such, and if I do not, I'm a bum, or I'm not a good father if I don't.
Yeah. That's the thing. What do you place value in? You might place value in, if I don't get them, I want to say, is it Grey Goose? What's the goose?
No, the Grey Goose is the alcohol.
What's the goose?
Kind of goose, yeah.
Kind of good. Bruv, I don't know all these brands, bro. I don't know all this stuff, bruv. I know it's some goose thing. I see these young kids with these goose jackets, and it's all like mad expensive, and then they're telling me, oh yeah, if it rips or anything, they replace it, and da-da-da. I'm like, yo.
You're looking at £800.
You might feel like, unless you buy your kid this really expensive designer jacket, you're a bum. But I feel if I haven't put that same money into an ISA, a junior ISA for my kid, or if I haven't invested that money in a course for my kid, or if I haven't invested that money in making sure that my kid has what they need and the resources, then I'm a bum. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? All they need is a jacket. More time. I'm not even lying. My kids, we drive them to school, we pick them up, we bring them home. They're not on bus. So they're not out in the cold to say they need an £800 jacket. But man's picking them up petrol, so they're good. Heating's in the car. All that is in the playground. Like, I'm not giving you an £800 jacket just to be in the playground. That's wild. Okay, cool. We're picking them up, bringing them home. So all you need is a jacket. You don't need an expensive jacket. But for me, what's important is that you've got savings and investments for your future. And what's really important for me is that you're doing the extra lessons that are going to add value to you. Do you know what I mean? My son just done his SATs. This past, year and a half, we've been paying for extra tuition. I would feel like a bum if I couldn't afford the extra tuition. I wouldn't feel like a bum if I can't afford a jacket, a designer jacket, or Nike trainers, or bruv, forget all of that, bruv. These kids, they'll get whatever we can get, and they'll be cool with that. What's most important for me is to make sure I'm creating them to be the best version of themselves. And sometimes actually buying this stuff is actually hurting them, because sometimes we're setting our kids for a false reality, because you put in the work to get that money to be able to do it, and you obviously know at one point you're going to hope to stop, that your kid will be able to carry on. But there's no guarantees that your kid is going to be able to work as hard as you, number one, because they didn't have to, because you've made them soft, so they don't have to work as hard as you did to get the money that you got, so they don't have that work ethic and mentality to make the money that you made. And then two, they feel like, why would I have to anyway? I can just rely on you. You're happy buying it when they're in school, then they're in college, they're in uni, they're now back at your house, they're still looking at you to buy it. They're now 25, they're now 30, still looking at you to buy them the same things you're buying, and you're saying, no, you're big now, go and do it yourself. It's not when they're big that you now tell them to go and do it for themselves. You meant to instill that mentality that, okay, from young, that actually I want to support you. And this is why I tell my kid can't work at age 11, but they can still add value. Like I said, you can add value to the environment that you're in by keeping it clean. You can add value to the people that you're around by helping and supporting them if you feel they need help. You can add value to yourself by doing your homework. This is why for me, I don't focus on money. I always focus on value, because it doesn't matter what age you are. When you understand the concept of value and how to add value, as you get older and you can make money, now you can turn value into money. That's for me the key principles that I'm trying to instill into my children.